this conversation. I-24 News contributor in Paris, Jonathan Sacerdoti. You spend another day in Paris. The latest events from you.
Yes, Lucy. Well, we just heard those words there at that press conference. Some interesting revelations, because this morning when we got here, not long after that 4:30 raid in Saint Denis, we were piecing together bits of information that we were managing to ascertain dripping out from the siege site. But now we have a lot of it confirmed. We know that there was a terror cell ready to act, according to the prosecutor. We know that 8 arrests were made, including one woman, and we know that there was an arsenal ready for war, according to French authorities in the raids made over recent days. So this is definitely a formidable force that the French authorities are having to deal with here. And the people here in Saint Denis also have been spending the whole day trying to come to terms with how on earth this happened in their neighborhood. They can't quite believe that this all unfolded on what was a regular street in a regular apartment. The
last few days in Paris, I just want to know, what is the state of mind of people today? And yesterday you started talking about the fact that people are starting to get back to normal, to get back to their routine. Do you sense this also today after the raid and after the events of this morning?
Well, of course, people would like to get back to their regular lives, but I'm not sure if it's ever going to be possible for them, knowing that there are these sorts of terror cells operating. We just heard there in that press conference the idea that this number of people, I mean 8 definitely were involved in this particular attack on Friday, and possibly, according to Iraqi intelligence, up to 24 in the bigger picture have been involved in this, either within the country or a little bit further afield. Knowing that that sort of thing has been able to go under the radar and operate in such a way as to carry out what was a sophisticated set of attacks on Friday means that people in Paris and France will be wondering if there are other cells like that operating. If this one got away with it, how many others are there operating in the same way? And similarly, we heard the prosecutor there in the press conference explaining that they don't think they actually have got either of the 2 big names they were after, either Saleh Abdeslam or Abdelhamid Abaoud. Neither of those people were believed to have been the ones killed. Obviously, one of them was a woman, so it can't have been both. And also, they said that they were not among the arrests. So given that that's the case, these 2 people potentially are still at large. That means that this terror cell is not properly dealt with, even though they said that it has been neutralized, a word more often heard in Israel about the treatment of terrorists in order to remove their threat, but now heard in Europe as well. So people will be wondering exactly whether or not they are safe tonight. And earlier on, as I said to you, we went out to talk to some people in this particular neighborhood about their feelings about what was going on here from the early hours of this morning. Yesterday, the focus of international media was on central Paris, with the Place de la République and other fashionable venues transformed into live broadcast centres. But Wednesday's early morning raid in Saint Denis has shifted global attention onto this melting pot district, the stage for a new kind of drama in France.
I would say the majority of people were from places like French Congo, Northern Africa, and then some from the Maghreb region, Algeria and Morocco. But actually I would have said mostly African. I wouldn't say they had sympathy for the Charlie Hebdo. What they said was, I can understand that the reason why the attackers attacked Charlie Hebdo was because they were being so insulting towards God and religion was something that was sacred and should never be criticised.
But today, local residents were shocked to have front row seats in the evolving drama between France and the Islamic State.
À 4h30, j'ai entendu des tirs de Kalachnikov.
At 4:30, I heard guns and explosions. I was in the kitchen and I went to see it from the window. I saw the police. They told people that had gone to work to go home. After a few minutes, the cops came and told us to stay home and not to move.
Life will return to normal, but it won't be how it used to be. Personally, from now on, I'll be careful. If I see you in a jacket or a jalaba, I'll be careful. I won't trust anyone anymore.
This small Paris suburb is in many ways a microcosm of the challenge facing the French government. At least 1/3 of residents here were born outside of metropolitan France, with nearly 1/5 coming from the Maghreb. Crime rates have reached nearly double the national average during the last decade. Nevertheless, events here over the past days have shocked most observers. Parisians are hoping that the last few days don't set the tone for their future life in this city. But with armed troops on the streets this morning and an extra 115,000 police and soldiers mobilized to defend them, it will be some time before life returns to anything close to normal.